In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an apron. The first thing we're going to do is grab our tape measure. You rest your tape. If you don't have a tape measure, use a piece of ribbon because you need to work out how long to make all this stuff for yourself. So the strap wants to sit naturally there. It will not, if you do try to make it to sit there, the fabric that you make on the top part, on the bib, will sort of crumple up and come back to its natural state. So let's place the strap. So place the tape measure on your neck like this, and then decide where you want that strap to sit. So if I look at my tape measure, it comes to 24 inches. Next thing I need to work out is, so I've decided that I'm going to sit my bib there across the front of my chest. That gives me a measurement of 10 inches. You're going to do this in front of a mirror, or somebody's going to help you. The whole of my apron is going to be 30 inches long. My bib, so the bib part, so it comes from here, oops, wrong side. So it comes from here to the waist, where I've decided that I'm going to tie it. It's actually 11 inches on me. I'm going to do a dotted line this time at 11 inches. Right, so the whole of that is 30 inches down to the bottom. There we go. Really what I'd like is for the apron to cover half of my body. So you can have it to cover all the way round and wrap it round if you'd like. I'd be happy with it just covering half of my body. So half of my body is 24 inches along there. So that's going to be 24 inches. So what I will do is draw a curve to there. Let me bring you in. Now I'm only going to use half of the paper to create the template, and what I can do is I can use that section there as the centre fold. So that's going to be the front middle part of my apron. So the front bib was 10 inches. I'm going to bring it to 5, so that's half of the bib, and I need to add a seam allowance. Now the way I'm going to do my seam allowance is on a serger. So I'm only overlocking it and then I'm turning it in just once, and then that will be my seam allowance. So I'm going to bring it at 5 1/4 there. So that's my seam allowance at the top. And from there I'm going to mark my 11 inches for my bib. There, and then that needs to come out at the waist. I said I was going to come out up to 24, so half of 24 is 12, and then I'm going to add 1/4 of the inch for the seam allowances, so that's going to be that mark there. And if you want to, you can draw a dotted line. That's the waistline. Plus 19 is there. Now I'm going to add a seam allowance there. So let's draw our lines. So the 19 inches is there. Okay, and that is the cutting line. Right, so how wide did we have it? We had it at 12. And then 1/4 of an inch for the seam allowance. So that should match up nicely to that there. And that seam allowance should match up nicely to there. There you go. So I've got my cutting line and I've got my sewing line. Okay? And then match up the cutting line, just so you can see how the apron works out. Okay, so that's essentially your apron. So instead of it being square at the bottom, I can add a roundness to it, like that. So it's a bit more round at the bottom. And then instead of it being very straight there, I can bring it in a little bit and curve it round. And actually, if you've got a curve, that's great. If you want to freehand it, freehand it. But actually, one thing I've discovered about me is I'm not very good at curves. So I think what we'll do is we'll add a French curve here and just pop a curve in there. There we go. And make it as different as you want it to be. You don't have to follow any rules. These are your rules. You play by your the way you want things to be for you. It's your creativity. Don't be frightened to try. I think there's too many people worrying about too many details all the time that people forget to try. And you know what? If it goes wrong, do it again. Does it matter? No. No big deal. Let's cut round here. So I'm keeping that basic pattern I created before, but I'm actually going to make it in this shape because I think I like this shape. It looks good. How cool is that? That's your apron, and you just created that with me. And if you want to, you can add a pocket there. So shall we cut the pocket out? Right. Because that was from there. So that was the straight edge. I'm going to use that as the top of the pocket. And just draw it over there. How wide should we have this pocket? I think we should do it to there. Like that. Make it straight. So follow that line. And then what I'm going to do, to be sure that I've got the same curve as the bottom, because I would like it to look the same. And when you use things like plates, it's hard because it doesn't have numbers on it. I'm just going to place it exactly like the skirt, the apron part, and just freehand draw around it. And there we go. Cut that out. And there you go. And that's actually not a straight line, so we need to make that a straight line. So we've got our apron. We have our apron pocket. There we go.